We are 100 years company. UMW is 100 years company. So I joined 6 years back. So when I joined this company, I came from multinational. So we are among the biggest GLC in KL. So you can see that our business diverse from automotive, manufacturing, engineering, aerospace. So I found out with almost close to 15,000 employees, we do manually on all HR processes. So it's very traditional and a lot of papers, and there's no speed, there's no empowerment, and also experience methods when the employee want to deal with their own things. Right? So I believe that it's about time for us to move away from a very traditional way of doing HR activities to more digital and empower our employees to make their own experience. Okay, so we do tender. But I myself, basically, in the past, I've gone through a couple of HR platforms, Workday, SuccessFactors, PeopleSoft, and many others. Right? So I think when it comes to the technology, I noticed that SuccessFactors is more friendly. And then same times, when I look at each functions, it makes sense to my business. As opposed to other platform, I noticed that, sometimes they are very European style, and the European functionality, which is quite difficult. If you want to go on cloud, it's quite difficult for you to adapt. Whereas SuccessFactors, in certain instances, they already fine-tuned to the ASEAN's environment. So it make it easy for you to adopt. Okay, they are very responsive. Well, they have a lot of, I would say, subject matter expert that can help us to resolve our issues when we wanted to move into a digital. Because you could imagine that, 100 years company moving into digital is not easy, because you inherited a lot of history, right? So, and therefore, people is helping us a lot in terms of how we're going to streamline certain processes, and then how can we make it easier for our users basically to manage that processes. Because see, moving from manual to suddenly digital, and then we have a lot of HR people in the operations, they are not familiar with digital. So they have to go for training. Sometimes they are not savvy, and we make it simple so that's easier for us to manage the end process at the end. So I guess as rolling areas also familiar with the Malaysian environments, they're also familiar with the ASEAN environment, and therefore it's quite easier for them to relate in any project that they undertake. So we find it more conducive, and we find it easier for us to work with them. So number one is basically the best experience. Right? So you wanted to create the best experience. So the best experience is when you empower your people to do their own activities by themselves. Right? So in the past, for example, if they want to change certain thing, they come to HR department and bring a piece of paper, and they say, okay, can you do this, blah, 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 and then it will take perhaps maybe a couple of days, and then you get signature here and there, blah, blah. Now we don't do that anymore. So if they want to apply leave, you go to the system, get your boss approved. You don't need to go to HR and take a form and then get somebody else to do. And then if they want to change their biodata, for example, their particulars, please do so. And we empower them to do that. The only thing that they cannot touch is on the salary, which is on the control item, right? So the rest they can do themselves, right? So they can do anywhere. It's not necessarily they come to office and do it. They can do by phone also on certain things. So to me, it's really paperless environment, very digital. And in fact, when we do a survey to all our employees, they're very happy because they say that it's so easy now to deal with HR. It's so easy for us basically to deal with their own thing if they wanted to update their own information. And even, for example, last time, the simple tax clearance, for example, tax clearance. Every year you have to do tax clearance. So they have to come to HR because we call it the EA, the employment, your tax document, right? So you have to come to HR, and then you got to print from the system, the old system. Now, no need. You just go to the system, you print your own. You want to print out your payslip, don't come to HR anymore. You can print yourself as many as you want. So everything is about empowerment. Everything is about creating the best experience for them. So I don't need so many people. In the past, I have a special room to manage the entire HR operation. Now it's only 4 people managing the system. That's it for the entire group. So the business also very, very happy. There are few functions which is related to the business. For example, like structure. Right? So if they want to look at who report to who, they can easily look at their structure, go to the system and look at the system. You don't have to ask HR. Last time they said, okay, Mr. HR, can you print out the structure for us? Sometimes HR also have problem because the structure was not updated properly, right? So now everything in the system, because it's controlled and then it's all up to date. So if they want to see their structure, they can just look at their structure. They want to make changes, they can just propose and then we just do online basically. So you don't have to go to HR and
Awesome.
even to know if they want to know the salary of the people, they can check. As a bosses, they also can check. They don't have to come to HR. Now last time, even their clerk, hey, how much this guy is throwing? I said, it's just a clerk. Then you disturb the entire HR people. It's now not it. So you go to the system and check how much this guy is throwing. Then you want to give increment, you want to give bonuses, everything there on your own. Well, I think in terms of the support from RA, I would say that they are exceeded the expectation. Of course, there is certain thing sometimes you can't really do because of the SAP, not so much on rolling errors. As far as rolling errors is concerned, they are trying their level best to have their customer to ensure that at the end of the day, the project meet their expectations. And then we are also happy with the support given by them. I think we are moving into the technology era. So while in the past, big company like us, we are so proud of having our own system internally, our own processors, blah, blah. I think that's the end of the era. So for the biggest company like us, my suggest to that is please digitalize your system, your HR system, your HR platform for you to create the best experience to your people. So you can have the speed, you can have the accuracy, and you can have so convenience for all the people throughout you.